Hello strangers, it's Liv and welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title in today's video, I'm going to be making a Peppa Pig pumpkin. I know that she's been memed a lot this year, so I can only pay homage in the way I know how to, which is my yearly pumpkin. So this is something that I'm going to want to start to do on my channel every Halloween season, is to take a meme from the year and go ahead and make it into a pumpkin. So the reason I am doing a pumpkin is because my work does do an annual holiday pumpkin decorating contest. So I think that this will be pretty relevant with parents, with kids, with people my age who are into memes, and hopefully I can win $100 with this pumpkin you see here. So as you can see, my pumpkin is not orange, it's already pink. I didn't want to bore you guys with painting a pumpkin. So I have painted my pumpkin pink, and I've painted just a plastic like Dixie cup pink because that's what I'm going to use as her snout. So I am going to cut this a little bit down, and then I think once I glue it on, we can kind of start to add all the decoration and make it more into the iconic Peppa Pig. So I feel like I definitely should have cut the cup before I painted it because I feel like a lot of it chipped off. But after I glue everything on, I'm going to have to paint over the hot glue anyway, so it wasn't the worst thing because there were about 3 coats on the cup as well as the pumpkin. So I'm going to hot glue it, and I'm just not sure for right now if I want to glue the nose up here or if I want to flip it, and because she kind of has like a round head, or if I want to do this. But I think the other way looks more right. But then she'll have the little knob, and she doesn't have that. So I think this looks better overall. So I'm going to glue this, and then we can start adding her eyes and her cheeks and her mouth. And then I'm also going to add a body to her too. So we're going to have to figure out together how we're going to make a body for her. But I'm going to glue this to here, see how it looks, and I'll be right back. While it's drying, I am going to add like a consistent line of hot glue around Peppa's snout just because it will give it a little bit more uniform. So although it is holding up, there are spots that do have more hot glue than others. So again, just to make it a little bit more consistent and look more uniform, I'm going to add a bead of hot glue all around the snout. So Peppa's snout is successfully attached. I'm going to let the glue dry, and then as I have turned the pumpkin upside down, I've kind of realized that the top isn't as, well, I guess bottom, isn't painted as well as I thought it was going to. So I'm now going to paint around the hot glue just so it blends in more, and then I'm also going to touch up the top of my pumpkin, and once that dries, I'll be back so we can do her snout, eyes, little tail, and body. Okay, so we're back. I've painted the pig, I've painted the pumpkin, I've painted the nose, and I think that I may have glued the snout on just a little too high, but I don't think that it's anything that we can't work with. But what I'm going to do is put the eyes here, paint her little nose, add a smile. I'm going to use felt or paint. I still haven't decided. So my paint that I have is also literally the exact same color, so it's going to look about the same. But I think I'm going to do felt this is foam. I'm going to use foam just because then I can make a mistake versus painting it on if it doesn't look good. I'm going to have to paint over it, and we're not going to do any of that stuff. I also have felt, and that's what I'm going to use for the eyes. I'm going to cut out ovals out of the white felt, and then she has little like kind of beady eyes, so I'm going to cut out a smaller circle in the black felt to make kind of the white and then the pupil. These are the 2 eyes that I have. I'm going to cut the black out of them, and then those are going to be Peppa's eyes, and I'm going to glue those as well. So these are my finished eyes, and then, I think they look okay. I'm going to glue the pupil on the white space of the eye, and then I'm going to glue them onto Peppa, and you will see me do that in just a sec. The next thing I'm going to cut is Peppa's little like nostrils, and then as well she has like the two cheeks with the circles on the outside. So that's what I'm going to cut next. I always cut a little bit more than what I need because you can always cut more, you can't cut less, or whatever that saying is. So I'm just going to keep going in a circle until I have the little Peppa nostril that I desire. And the end of the cup isn't that big, so I don't want to make these nostrils like a monstrosity, but I think that I want it almost a little bit smaller than this because she has two of them. So I think that this is kind of a perfect size for a nostril, and then I'm going to cut one in the exact same size, and then we'll go ahead and stick them on the cup. So I'm Peppa Pooped, and I think today I'm just going to do her face, which is her nostrils, her eyes, her cheeks, her ears, and then tomorrow, which it will be all one video for you guys, but tomorrow I'm going to work on her body, her hands, her legs, and then kind of finish up the pumpkin overall. I'm going to cut the ears right now. They're just little like bloops, so I'm going to cut those and then we'll glue them on, and then we'll be done for the day, which will be really nice. And then tomorrow we can just focus on the body, getting her all snatched, making her a slim, thick queen, and she'll be ready for Halloween. So the last thing I have to cut out is her mouth. I've gone back and forth on a few different textures, items. My boyfriend did point out that her mouth, it is a little bit red. So what I'm going to do is cut out a smile in the mouth and then glue it on the pumpkin, and then we'll be done with Peppa's head. So that's it. That's all I'm going to do today. We did her eyes, we did her mouth, we did her nose, ears, the whole 9 yards. Tomorrow what I'm going to do is her body. Initially I was going to do a box and then try to like cut a hole in the box and then put her in there with the stem. But I just think that's going to be not worth it for what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to make an easy, like simplistic Peppa, but I still want her iconic like little red smock that she's got on. So I do have a small container of like nut butter. You could do peanut butter, you could do really anything. You could even do like a glass jar if you didn't have anything. But I'm gonna just take the lid off and then cover it with red felt so she can kind of prop on top, since I did invert the pumpkin. And then we can make like little arms, a little tail, little legs for her. But that's tomorrow's deal. I'm not working on it today. So for you guys, again, it will be in about 10 seconds, but for me, it's going to be a full 24 hours. So let's see how Peppa wears overnight, and I'll talk to you in a sec. Okay, so we're back. It's been a full 24 hours for me. It's been like 3 seconds for you guys. So let's just go ahead and get started into Peppa's body. So I mentioned yesterday that I wanted to cover this little like nut butter jar with the red felt, and then I also want to make her hands, feet, and tail. The first thing I'm going to do is measure out how much of the felt I want, and then I'm just going to cut it to the like the circumference, and then once I glue it on here, I think that's then what I'm going to cut around the top, just because I don't want it, I'm going to try to fold it in a little bit and I don't know how much to leave. So I'm just going to measure how long it needs to be first, and then we'll be pretty set for gluing it on and then recutting it. And then I always save my scraps of felt too, just because you never know what you're going to need it for. I think that it's important to try to be as savvy as possible when it comes to DIYing, because I made some Disney ears a while ago for a trip that I took to Disney World, and I literally needed like this much red felt, so it was nice that I didn't have to go out and buy a whole new sheet, even though they are like 39 to 89 cents. But again, I try to save all of the scraps that I can just to be a little more dollar friendly when DIYing. So just fun tip from me. Then I am going to measure the top just a little bit, because again, I don't need all of it, but I do want to make sure that it will be enough to fold in, and then we'll do like the final cut and everything after. It's also nice because since I am folding it and it doesn't have to be completely straight, I mean, I didn't do an awful job, but again, since I'm going to just use the bottom edge as the straight edge for when I cover it, I'll be good to go. Once I fold it in, I won't have to really worry about if it's clean or anything like that. So that's this. I don't need to make the lid or anything, because again, the pumpkin is just going to go straight in here. So now we can move on to the legs and arms. Her arms are really just little like pitchforks almost. And since the jar's not going to be that big, the arms and legs don't have to be that big either. It's just to kind of complete her little look that she has. I'm not planning on cutting them really that big, because her arms as a whole aren't that long. So I think I might just make them 2.5 inches-ish. So I cut my rectangle. I'm going to cut it into like little strips so that I can kind of cut her hand out. I think I'm just going to freestyle her hand too, because it's just kind of a little pitchfork. We'll see how that actually works out. And then what I'm thinking too is for her legs, I don't have to create feet or anything. So with her kind of sitting down, I'm just going to have her sit on it, and I can just cut these into 2 little ovals and then glue her shoes on. So I'm going to, again, save my little scrap of felt so I can use it for another thing. I'm just going to layer these 2 on top of each other and pray that it works. So I'll cut this out, and then we'll check in and see how I did. So this is what I came up with. I am just going to trim it a little bit. Her fingers aren't the same size. I'm not really that worried about this, but if I just kind of trim her little, I'm going to do them one at a time. If I trim her little long pinky finger that she has, I think we'll be in good shape. There we have our hands. So the next thing I'm going to do is create her legs, and I am going to also cut the shoes out of black felt, but I do need her little leggies, and I think I'm just going to turn them into 2 squares or 2 ovals. I'm going to fold this in half so that they're about the same size, and just cut down the fold like so. And then just trim them into little ovals. Because again, you're not really going to see the end of them or really the beginning of them because they'll be under the jar, but just to have that little nice uniform look. And then maybe, you know what, I'll just cut off the top here. These are the legs that I have, and again, they're just going to be placed under the jar. I'll just need her little shoes. And I do have some black felt here. I think I have a brand new sheet. I don't have any scraps or anything. Oh, I do. Perfect. I'm just cutting the little rectangle now. I'm going to fold it in half, cut out the 2 little ovals, and we'll be set. So we're almost done with this. I'm really happy as to how everything's turned out so far. I really can't wait to see the finished product. I always love doing the pumpkins every year at work, just because I always try to think of something that would be either relevant to my life that year or something that I just think is kind of funny. So this year I did Peppa Pig because, again, I thought it was memeable and people will get it. The year before, I did a Hey Arnold pumpkin because my boyfriend and I were Helga and Arnold for Halloween. I did a Winnie the Pooh pumpkin one year because I love Winnie the Pooh. I did an Elvis pumpkin one year. It was like the little mini one. And my dad is a huge Elvis fan, so I thought that that was funny. It had like fake hair and everything too. And I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that I did I may have missed a year, but I really do enjoy doing pumpkins. And if you've ever done a pumpkin for work or you've carved a pumpkin, leave a comment in the comment box below telling me what you carved or one that you decorated, because I would love to see all of them or hear all of the different pumpkins that you guys have created over the years. So now that I'm done, I'm going to have her little feet. I'm going to glue all this on, and then we'll do a time-lapse video of me doing all that in just a sec. I almost forgot that we do need to still do Peppa's iconic curly Q tail. What I think is going to be the best way to accomplish it is just cut a circle and then kind of cut a spiral into it and just add that to the back end. So I'm going to do that again out of the same pink felt that I made her arms and legs in. I don't know why I keep forgetting about her tail. I've cut a square. I'm going to cut it into a very big circle, and then I'm going to cut my spiral out of that. And that should give kind of the curly Q. I just keep turning it in a circle to make the curly Q, and then we'll see how smooth it is once I kind of get to the end. I don't know if I like it or not. I may just make it a little bit shorter. I feel like if we round it off right here, it might be a little better. I think I like this a lot more. This looks way better. So I'll just attach it to her little back there. And then we have Peppa's tail. So now, after we've remembered the head, remembered the little shoes, the legs, the arms, the tail, we're going to put everything together and we're going to glue everything on. And you'll see me again do that in a time lapse in just a sec. Okay, so as you can see, our Peppa is now completed. She has her nostrils, her snout, her little curly Q tail. From the photo to what I have, I think I did a pretty good job, especially since it is pumpkin form. So again, that was kind of my tutorial, what I chose for my memed pumpkin of 2019. I've really appreciated all of the support that I've gotten from my first video to now this one, so I hope that you did like my video. If you did like my video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like my channel, or if you want to see more of me in the future, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!